The different stages. There are various stages of dealing with grief, and some people may go through one or more stages than others. There is no specific sequence from one stage to the other. These are just a general guide to what you can expect. Here are the essential elements of these stages. Shock and denial. The initial stage of grief is usually shock. You are at the stage where you are in disbelief that this really happened. You don't know what reaction to elicit when you hear the news for the first time. Shock also helps to protect you from the overwhelming news of losing a loved one forever. You may also deny that this is really happening, and this may last for several weeks, even after the funeral. Guilt and pain. Once the shock wears off, the pain becomes almost unbearable. However, it is best to deal with the pain head-on rather than try to sugarcoat it with alcohol or drugs. You will also have feelings of guilt, especially if you were at odds with that loved one, or you may not have done quite as much as you should have done. Anger. Death is not something that you can fix, and when you see that your loved one will not return, it will make you become frustrated, and that leads to anger. You have to be careful how you channel this anger, and try not to put blame on someone else, because no one else has control over death. Blame will only lead to relationships being destroyed, and this is the time when you all need each other as family members. In some cases, you may have self-pity and ask the question, why me? Loneliness and depression. You will begin to feel lonely when others will think you should have moved forward and gotten over it, but this is quite natural. Loneliness may lead to depression, especially if you have had a loss such as a spouse or a child, someone who used to live in your household. It is during this time that you will understand how important that person was to your life, and it will be harder for you to move forward. This is one of the most difficult stages of grief. Acceptance. It is during this period that you will have finally come to terms with your grief. You are ready to deal with the situation and move on. Even though you won't be the same person, you will find a way to exist with your circumstances.